I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Josh Saunders.
I'm Dylan Bowden.
And we are the Pop Cultures. In fact, we're going to do something a little bit different.
This was not planned. We're off the script, ladies and gentlemen.
What we try to do here is we try to sort of be personable. We try to put our personalities up front and center. Mm-hmm. You know, that's what we do. So that also means we have to talk about, you know, the good things that we do and the fun that we have. I think it's important that we talk about some of the other things as well, like some of the badder things and that sort of stuff.
The dirt sheets are coming out.
So this is where I tell you that you're all fired. No.
This is where I tell you guys that you're a better than average bloke.
You guys are adequate.
Thank you for not being great.
I sort of just want to talk about like what's going on with me right now, because you know,
I'd like to know
I haven't had enough of everyone talking about me. I'm glad that I talk about me. What do you think about it?
I want it to be less about me because I'm in all the videos. Let's talk about me.
Now I want you guys to talk about me.
Yeah. Well, I also wanted you guys to bring in your story as well. So,
I'm gonna be cracking the knuckles.
it's hard to articulate what's going on. Is the easiest way to put it. Like, something's wrong with me, and I don't know what it is. I think I know what it is, and I'm trying to work out what it is.
Mm-hmm. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, short answer is I'm not doing...
I want you to elaborate as much as you're comfortable with.
Oh, yeah.
Because up to this point, I actually have no idea.
Yeah. So I'm not doing too well in terms of headspace. So I keep finding myself being either very angry or very sad and very limited in the middle. I do find, like, I do have some happiness, like when I'm here and when I'm home, and outside of that,
I know what the
I'm
problem
having
is already.
a pretty rough time.
It's work.
Yeah.
You feel like your life is a Katy Perry song.
Yeah, it's hot and I'm
Fire-
cold.
fire-
Yes and I'm no.
Oh, sorry, there's that one.
Because then I'm in and I'm out. I'm up and I'm
You
down.
kissed a girl.
Yeah, and I liked it.
Friday night.
Yeah.
So what do you feel has changed in your mental health?
Well, can I jump in straight away?
Yeah, of course.
Speaking from experience, having a kid, now, it's not in a negative way. But like, I got two. So I'm just speaking from my experience, is that after, obviously, my daughter was born, I was 16 at the time, so I was in a different headspace, but when it kind of sinks in that this is for literally the rest of my life, it's a hard thing to kind of comprehend, yeah? And you deal with it and you go, well, you know, I wanted it, I'm going to go forward with it, everything's cool, I'm happy with my child, there is nothing wrong with my child, it's just mentally intimidating.
Go ahead,
I
sorry.
don't know whether you attribute it to, your lifestyle, your life, like the rest of your life has changed over the last 2.5 months, forever.
Yeah.
So whether that's playing anything into it or not, that's for you to decide, but there's nothing shameful in saying that, you know, it's a difficult lifestyle change.
Yeah. I do think it is I think it is James, but not in a negative way. I don't think it's my fear of my life changing. I'm quite content with him being around forever. Like, that part I'm 100% okay with. I think what I'm not okay with, I think where it stems from, is that I won't be around as much as I want to. Not the way like my Millie and I, my wife and I, are separating. Nothing like that. We're still very happily married.
I mean, working the 9 to 5.
But working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I think that's mostly where it stems from. I think a lot of it comes from, you know, because I did have a good 7 weeks off, you know, to be around him and that sort of stuff. And then my life changed to adapt to being around him and going in that way. And then going back to work, I do feel there's probably some sort of subconscious, probably the wrong word, but like hatred towards work, because that's what's taking me away from my son, and I think that's where it mostly stems.
Now, you did say, the other day that Millie sent you of him laughing, I think?
Yeah, she sent me a video of him laughing for the first time.
That's what I was about to say, is that as much as it sucks and it's fucking difficult for a dad, you're going to miss things.
And I'm not okay with that.
And unfortunately, well, you know, can't really avoid it. Like, you don't know when he's going to crawl for the first time. You don't know when he's going to roll over. You don't know when he's going to take his first steps. You don't know when he's going to say his first word. You don't know.
Yeah.
And you're going to miss some things. I miss things for work. I miss things with both of mine. I don't think I saw my son's first steps. Didn't hear my daughter's first words. And in the long run, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
In the long run, it's not. I can understand for a new parent why it seems like that would be a huge deal to miss the first this and the first that. But in the grand scheme of things, you're going to have this. You're going to be in James's life for 60 plus years.
No,
minimum.
A bit sweet.
Yeah.
I don't know, like 85. No, I'm cool with that.
Missing the first step in the grand scheme of things.
It isn't.
Not a big deal.
I think it stems from. I think it comes from a couple of different offshoots. We talked about it in a previous video in terms of like where I work and how I'm unhappy where I work, and that was the case before James was born. And I think him coming around sort of did change my priorities, and along with that, I think it's a couple of different things. I think it's a couple of different things stacked up at once to sort of hit me in one go. Because in terms of like with work, I do feel trapped. Like I have to work, but I work a job that I hate, and there's not really many other jobs going around Geelong. I have no choice but to be here, and I think that's the worst. So I'm being away from my son to go to a job that I fucking hate.
But then you're going to that job that you hate to provide for that.
Yeah, and like I understand that part too. I don't know. Like I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it's in, but like it's affecting me and it's affecting us in a way.
He's been so snappy lately.
I blasted Dylan the other night for no reason because he said one thing that fucking just twanged me off. Like, and that's pretty much how it's working.
So hey Ryan, how's it going?
Get the
yeah.
So I sent like, cause I'm not.
I can tell. Like we were talking about just before this video started, is that we're talking about texting etiquette. Like, you can, if you're close enough with someone, you can read their mood via how they're texting you and the format of the texting. And like this whole week, every time I message you, I'll be like, yeah, he's not quite okay this week. He's grumpy. He's angry. I've pissed him off somehow. Whether I have or haven't doesn't matter. If I piss you off, you tell me, and that's fine. I make a point to do it sometimes, like in Slack the other day. But yeah, like. But
that was before you had realised that I'm not having a good time.
It's not exactly a surprise, and like I felt the same as you in the video I did about me quitting my job, that I was trapped, and whether I've made the biggest mistake in my life or not, I don't know yet. But it got to the point where I felt so trapped that I had to get out. Regardless of whatever's on the other side or how I'm going to deal with it, I had to get out of there. And it's to the point I went to my doctor's today to get a medical certificate. This is my last week at work and I'm unfortunately not there to get a medical certificate. And he was talking to me and I was just there to get a certificate. That's all I was there for. He saw me, he's like, how you going? I'm like, I'm not sleeping and I've kind of lost interest in all my hobbies and really restless. I don't want to leave the house, which is all true. And he goes, I think you're depressed. And I'm like, I don't think so. I feel okay mentally. He's like, everything you've just said to me points to depression. So I'm going to prescribe you medication. I was like, whoa,
that's with the same thing where I'm at right now. Like I've been here before, very different reasons. Yeah. And that's how I was able to identify it. Because it was sort of like, mind you, it was like a good week or probably a good... 2-3 weeks after all this shit's going down, I sort of had realised I'm
falling back into that
space again. This is too familiar. Like I've been here before. I know where it is and I know what's going. Like I find myself quick to anger. I blast Millie. I blast you. I blast my boss. You know what I mean? Like
you blasted all of us.
Yeah.
On Slack the other day.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And like and all that because I'm
one little comment.
Yeah.
One. Like 3 words.
But that's the difference. Like you guys have known me for years now. Yeah. Like I'm not that quick to jump to anger or anything.
Because I actually said in that conversation, I said, "This isn't quite how I expect this conversation to go. Just having a laugh. I'm stepping off. It's done."
And that's what I'm finding. I'm jumping between those two more frequently than I ever would, and that's how I know I'm like, okay, I've been here before, and this is what helps. And I sort of looked into it as well, and you helped me out as well, Dylan. And you're like, well, maybe it could be this. And we sort of Millie did the same thing. She's like, maybe it's sort of like a postnatal depression sort of thing. She's like, I'm like, that happens in ladies. She's like, no, it happens in dudes. It happens in dudes all the time. Like, and I'm like, oh, that helped. And funny enough, actually, that's helping. Sort of realizing what it is, even if it's not what it is. I do feel, seeing as that's the only thing that's changed in my life, that has to be what it is, and that's actually helped centered me because I'm aware of what's going on. I'm sort of understanding what's happening, and I'm trying to do better.
It's important to try. It's also important if, say, in a week's time nothing's improved, you do need to go to the doctor.
Yeah, and that's what I thought.
And as much as like I said, the doctor just prescribed me depression medication today. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm fine. But the fact that it's there in case I need it is important. And it's important for you too. If talking about it, like doing this video and talking to Millie and Dylan and me, if you want to, like, doesn't help in the long run, you've got to go get something done. And you know this because you've had it before. Yeah, so
I'm very open with my emotions, and that's to my advantage. That's why I thought I'd do this. It would be a good sort of way. It's like a therapy sort of thing.
It can be therapeutic as well.
Yeah, so, just sort of... Because I know you guys have dealt with it in the past and stuff, so it's sort of like...
Right now, according to my doctor.
I thought people that would understand, and, whether anyone's even interested in watching this, it's just sort of like... I don't know. I thought it'd be a cool way to sort of just, air it out.
Men can have mental health issues too.
Especially when you keep things bottled up. Like, that's I think the biggest thing is when you don't talk about things and you're playing in your mind a lot and it's playing it over and over again. You're thinking about this, you're thinking about that. And then it's all this inner turmoil, and then anything sets it off. Yeah. You know what I mean? And even just like now talking, like, even in this day and age, people diagnose everything on the internet. Like, if you're like, my hand's been severed and I'm bleeding out, I'm not going to call the doctor. Let me just check. Bleeding out, what do I do? YouTube video? Okay, do that.
You have lymphoma, okay.
Yeah, but
not
like,
the fact
people
you're missing a hand.
Freak out that they've got symptoms of something. But even just having that forum to go to and read comments and read diagnoses and things, just to kind of see that there are other people out there who experience the same thing. And then in the sense of like talking to people and saying, yeah, I've been through that as well. I felt this way. And it brings a relief off. Like, I'm not alone. Even though you feel alone and you bottle it up and you keep it to yourself and it's like, no, it's my problem. It's my issues. I can deal with it. It's things affecting me. Exactly. Yeah. But then talking to other people, even just in flippant conversation, just having a beer around the barbecue or something, you feel better. Yeah. And you're like, it's not so
calm down, Australian Dylan.
Yeah, you know what it's like, mate.
Beers rev up.
But, like, even just realising that...
sitting on the couch. Fuck shit.
You know what I'm saying? Even if you just don't know you're alone, right? Just hearing your mates say blokey things like that.
And they're right, cobber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know that other people have had the same kind of experience. You're like, okay, I thought it was just me. I thought that nobody else understood.
So look, don't get me wrong. I never thought that I was the only one. Like, I've got a lot of friends, and we've all had issues at some point. Because, like, this day and age, everyone... Like, it's not... The stigma is still there, but it's certainly gone away. So being able to, talk about it. But what about you guys? Have you sort of want to open any old wounds?
No. Really?
Because like I'm doing it right now.
It's only because I'm depressed now anyway. No, I had it probably a decade ago. My daughter was about 2. Same kind of thing. Trapped in a job, trapped in a shitty relationship, big lifestyle change, and That was my...
Was that your big World of Warcraft?
That was my World of Warcraft phase. Work 8 to 5, kid to bed at 7, World of Warcraft till 3 in the morning, bag Doritos, 2-litre bottle of Coke and a family pizza, 3 or 4 nights a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
I was a little bit bigger than
Dylan's pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
That's where I'm at now.
But...
Am I depressed?
I wouldn't accept that I was depressed. Yeah, and I had... my mum and my dad, like all my close family saying, you're not okay. Like, we can tell you're not okay. I'm fine. Like, just don't leave me the fuck alone. This is my thing. And eventually I got on the medication and I kind of went, oh shit. Like, okay. And then I reflected on those last few years and thought, like, that's shit. Like, the amount I play games and all that, instead of A, trying to fix a relationship, B, getting out of the relationship, and C, spending more time with my daughter, I just thought that's, like, how it's been is not okay. And I changed it, and I've been pretty happy ever since. Until now.
Until this afternoon, yeah.
Thanks, Doc.
Yeah, well, for the longest time that I can remember, I've had, like, obsessive compulsive disorder from, like...
Is that why you have so much hairspray in your hair and stuff?
No, there's a lot of things that people contribute to it.
That's just being vain.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what it comes to down now is, like, mostly washing my hands. That's, like, a sense of what I can control. So I can't control that, you know, I might have touched something that I feel is tainted or dirty or has thoughts contributed to it. But if I wash my hands, mentally I've done something to
Well, it's a phrase,
handle that.
isn't it? Like, you wash your hands of it. Like, be done with it. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And it kind of like, if I, at least if I've done something to stop it, it's not bothering me anymore. And for the longest time I was like, I don't want to go to therapy, I don't want to take medication, I'm not big on drugs, so I'm like, I don't want to alter my personality and be any lower and depressed and kind of down compared to the level I'm on. And mostly I'm an optimistic person where I'm just like, it'll clear up in a certain amount of time, things like that. You know,
6 months, 4 years, 10 years.
Yeah, that's right. So like, what is it now? Hang on, do the math.
2017.
20 years later, I was like, you know what? I've had enough. Like, I'm sick of this. I'm just going to go to the doctor and see. I did therapy back when I was like 16 or something. Yeah, 20 years.
Jeez.
When I was 16, my mum took me to like a psychologist and we sat down and had sessions and it just seemed a bit wanky and stuff like that. I wasn't really into it. And
it's because of your age though, like the mid-teen boys I don't talk about.
Yeah, and I was like wanted to hang out with my friends. I remember we were
going the reason I wash my hands because I touch my dick all the time. Yeah.
And I'm still touching it. But I remember we were going to the Royal Show that day and I was like, I just want to go and hang out with my friends. I don't want to go to the psychologist. And then I don't want the stigma of the psychologist playing on my mind while I'm trying to have my friends. And then my dad came along to one of the sessions and that's a whole issue where he didn't like it and then it threw a breach in the relationship even further than it was. But yeah, in the since, I don't know, end of last year, I think.
Yeah.
I went to the doctor. I'm like, listen, I don't like therapy. I don't want to talk about that. Are there alternatives to that? And they said, yeah, try this medication, see if it works for you. It takes a while to balance things out.
I got away to do it. He's a sweet blonde. And then he got really baked to the doctor.
Like, this is so good. But now I'm like, if only I had done that 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The time that I still like have ingrained 20 years worth of it in me. And it's still
is it more repetition now rather than impulse?
Yeah, it's more like I've done it for this long. I might as well just do it just in case. I don't think it's bothering me, but just in case. But yeah, it varied over time as to what the things were. When I was younger, it was more of the symptoms of like switching on light switches on and off, stepping in and out of rooms, turning the door handles like a certain amount of times, and then you're like, I've conquered that. Without
I had
medication.
a thing when I was mid-teens, had sliding cupboards like there is there, and there was 3. And the two on the outside had to be right across, and the middle one had to be exactly the same point, like between the two.
So they got the same space.
Exactly the same spacing between everything.
Yeah.
And I'd sometimes spend 10 minutes trying to get that right, and then I'd hop into bed and get that issue. Like, no, I'll do it again. And yeah, that lasted.
It's just the little things like that, and then you'd get past that, and it'd evolve into something else.
Yes.
And so yeah, now taking medication, it's not gone, but it's taken so much
doesn't bother you
conscious. Yeah, because there's so much conscious effort of like, this is always in the back of my mind. This is always happening. And then I'm trying to concentrate on what I'm doing. And then I'm kind of think of other things. And it's kind of taken that relief away. Which is something I should have done like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Dude.
Get on medication.
Oh, awesome.
If any of you need anybody to talk to confidentially about these problems, please hit any of us up. We're happy to talk.
Yeah, no, like this has been actually incredibly helpful. So I was talking to Dylan about this the other day, only because like
before or after you destroyed him.
No, after, because I'm like I destroyed him. I'm like, dude, this isn't cool. I don't know what's going on. This isn't cool.
That's what I did. I was like, literally like, Ryan's angrier than usual. Like, what could it be? And I was like Googling stuff and like found that. I'm like, that kind of matches the things. I don't know how comfortable he is with that, but just knowing might help. And
then that's 100% what it is. Because yeah, like I said, I find myself yelling at people. I don't yell. I'm not a yeller. I yell because I have a high volume of regular voice. Yeah. I'm loud, but I'm not yelling. And then sometimes I'll find myself just sobbing. a little bit.
Yeah.
Like sitting at my desk and like,
I think that's the workplace.
yeah. But even then, like it was like even like the other day, I was sitting at my desk and like I was actively crying, but I just started fucking tearing. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And not because I was like, ugh. It's just, I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, what the fuck?
Right, speak.
I have to beat that out now.
What?
Except where I worked.
Oh.
So I did a few. It's fine.
Oh, you did too.
Yeah.
But I quit. So.
That's true. But yeah, but seriously, like this was amazing for me. This was really helpful. Maybe you need the same. You know, talk to someone. Talk to us. Fuck.
Talk to us, yeah.
You know, we're just some random dudes on the internet, but that anonymity may work in your favour. I'm Ryan Betson.
Josh Saunders.
Dylan Bowden?
Thanks, guys.
Dylan Bowden? Dylan Bowden? Dylan Bowden? Dylan Bowden? Dylan Bowden? Dylan Bowden?
Dylan
You're
Boyden.
welcome.
I'm
So
Dylan
never
Bowden.
fucking speak to me like that again.